Shalom Aleichem. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. This week we read Parshas Kisava. And we have a very, very harsh, difficult tochacha that is described in this week's Parsha. And it's the second time we have a tocha of this sort. And the Gemara Masechus Megillah Daf Lamed Aleph Mebez highlights that there's a fundamental difference between the tocha in this week's Parsha and the tocha that you find in Parshas Bechukosai. And that is that in this week's Parsha, it is Belashon Yachid. And in Parshas Bechukosai, it's said over Belashon Rabim. What's the difference between a utterance of the Torah in Lashon Rabim and Lashon Yachid? So let's take a look at the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer. Sfiras HaOmer told, Usfartem lachem. You're supposed to count in its Lashon Rabim. Sfartem lachem, the Gemara Menachos Darshans, Shtei Sfira lekol echad ve'echad. Torah says by the mitzvah of Lulav and Esrach, Ulakachtem lachem. B'yom HaRishon, it's a plural. Everyone has to get involved. In contrast, when it comes to counting the years of a Shemitah towards Yovel, so there it's V'safarta Lacha. It's not a halacha that everyone has to do that. That's halacha in Bezdin. Bezdin has to do that to establish the calendar. That's a din in Bezdin. So when it comes to a language of Belashon Rabim, it's for everyone. It's for all of Klal Yisrael, every single individual. When we're speaking Belashon Yachid, we're not speaking to the individuals. We're speaking to the corporate entity of Bnei Yisrael. So in Parshas Kisavo, we're told Belashon Yachid. That means that we're not speaking to individuals. We're speaking to the nation. And says the Vilna Gaon in a sefer called Aderes Eliyahu in next week's Parsha Nitzav, there'll be a guy. There'll be that guy who says, this tochacha has nothing to do with me. And he's going to walk away from it and say, wow, that's bad stuff. But shalom yeh li. All is going to be fine by me. How can he come away with that thinking? Says the Vilna Gaon, the answer is when you are speaking to individuals, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, they know you're talking to them. When I'm speaking to Bnei Yisrael, so that's the group. He's talking to them, not me. He's talking to others, not me. Shalom yeh li. That's a fundamental distinction. Fundamental chiluk. I see this all the time. Sometimes we'll ask the boys in Yeshivat to help out. We'll say, can someone help out? Can we get 10 volunteers? And we speak in generalities. Sometimes, Baruch Hashem, the boys are great. Sometimes the hands go up a little slower. If we say, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, can you help out? Ooh, of course. That's the difference between speaking B'lashon Yachid, B'lashon Rabin. So sometimes we, for convenience reasons, we have to speak to large groups. So it's a real achrayus on the listener. I said this to Yeshiva this week. We're not a small yeshiva. So when you're not a small yeshiva, the achrayus, so for convenience, we give shiurim to groups of 20. We give shiurim to groups of 16. I give a sikha to the whole yeshiva. But the real mitzvah is v'shinantam levanecha. We're speaking to the individuals. And every individual has to listen to it as an individual. Convenience, we speak to the group. But how we hear it, he's speaking directly to me. Otherwise, we could fall into that trap of, not to me. Shalom yeh li. The message is to the others, not to me. And that's the trap we want to avoid when we hear things. B'lashon Rabin, have a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh.